The second round of matches in the group stages of the 2025 African Cup of Nations came to conclusion last night. At the stage so far, only 3 teams have kept a 100% record to qualify into the next round, and 3 nations could not keep up the pressure. They've been eliminated, meaning that heading to match day 3, 18 teams, including the host nation, still have plenty to fight for, and it is not over yet. However, here's a summary of what happened in match day 2 in Morocco. The first game of the group was the Comoros Islands taking on the Chipolopolo of Zambia, but with neither side able to convert the few chances they created, the game ended in the scoreless stalemate. Attention would later turn to Rabat, where the host nation Morocco would host Mali, and Brahim Diaz scoring first from the spot, the Real Madrid star now getting 2 goals for the Atlas Lions. But just like Diaz, Sinayogo scored in his second consecutive game for Mali to make sure the game ended 1-1 at full time. All 4 nations could still qualify in the final day, Morocco playing the Comoros, Zambia facing Mali. In Group B, the Palancas Negras faced Zimbabwe. Gelson Dala scored first for Angola before the Warriors would equalize thanks to Knowledge Masunda. The game ended 1-1 at full time. In the other game of Group B that was dubbed the most controversial game of the group, Mo Salah scored his second consecutive goal for Egypt, helping them to a 1-0 win over South Africa. Bafana felt the penalty given against them was a very soft one, and they also had a penalty appeal waived. Egyptian goalkeeper Mohamed El Shinawi ended up being the man of the match after keeping Bafana at bay. South Africa lost the game 1-0 but could still qualify in the final day if they beat the Wolves of Zimbabwe. The Pharaohs became the first nation to qualify. Angola still are in the race. In Group C, Tanzania's Taifa Stars scored first as against what happened against Nigeria through Nzuva. For Uganda would equalize later on thanks to Ikweazu. The goal came in the 80th minute. Uganda had themselves a chance to win the game but they squandered the penalty. The Cranes could still qualify in the final day. In the biggest game of the group that was dubbed the Clash of Eagles, the Super Eagles faced the Carthage Eagles. Osimhen finally scored one of the chances in the game and put Nigeria in front before the captain Wilfred Ndidi scored the second goal for Nigeria and marked it with an iconic celebration from Nwankwo Kanu back in 1996. Ademola Lookman scored one of the best goals of the tournament and made sure Nigeria got the goal they needed to wrap up what could have been a 3-0 win comfortably. But Tunisia had other plans. The Carthage Eagles scored from a free kick, Talbi with the first goal from a header. The second set piece was scored by Abdi to make it 3-2 Nigeria. A nervy end to a match that was once controlled by the Eagles. All 4 teams could still qualify, but Nigeria became the second team to join the Egypt in the knockout stages. In Group D, Benin Republic scored the first and only goal in their 1-0 win over Botswana before we saw the DRC face Senegal. And it was a goal by Cedric Bakambu that gave the Leopards the 1-0 lead before we saw legend Sadio Mane equalizing for the Teranga Lions in the game that ended 1-1. In Group D, the table is very funny. Botswana have been eliminated, but Senegal can still qualify in the final day with the DRC, and Benin are still not written out yet. They still have a chance. In Group E, we saw the most stunning result of the second round of the matches. The Falcons of Jeddah scored the first and only goal against Equatorial Guinea, knocking out Zalag Nacional. Algeria had a very controversial penalty against the Stallions of Burkina Faso. Riyad Mahrez became the top scorer at the AFCON with 3 goals. Algeria have qualified, Burkina Faso and Sudan are still in it. Equatorial Guinea have gone home. In Group F, we saw a very interesting game. Gabon against Mozambique, the Panthers against the Mambas. Gabon went behind twice in the game before Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got one consolation goal before halftime, but that was not enough as Mozambique went down the other end and scored the 3rd goal to make the game go way beyond the reach of Gabon. Although they were able to get the 2nd goal in the game, that was not enough as the game ended full time 3-2. In the last game of the second round, Amad Diallo scored a stunner for Cote d'Ivoire. A potential goal of the tournament contender, but the Cameroon Indomitable Lions hit back later and the game ended 1-1 at full time. A fixture that was voted the most competitive and interesting game of the second round of matches. In Group F, Ivory Coast are first, Cameroon are second, Mozambique are third. Gabon have gone home, but the top 3 could still qualify on the final day. Once again, we've come to the end of the video. Share, like, follow and subscribe for more people to see. See you in the next episode.